God's blessing, brothers and sisters, my fellow warriors in Christ. This is part 2 of God's judgment on the hidden in the shadows empire. I just want to give you a background which will explain where it is all coming from. You will find in the Bible that there is a certain empire which goes from the very beginning of the Bible to the very end of the Bible. And for the first time we find it out in Genesis 8. And for the last time we find it out in the book of Revelation. And this empire has a name in the Bible. It's called Babylon. And what is interesting about this, that this is not one instance, because most people, when they speak of Babylon, they think about Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar kings and the destruction of Babylon then. But interestingly, this was not the only Babylon that existed, and this is not the only place in the Bible where you can find it. This was the physical Babylon, which existed physically. But before this one, we had the one which was, there was attempt to establish very similar in the book of Genesis. And the book of Genesis is the 10th chapter, let's say 8th verse and 10th verse. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinear. And 10th verse, 10 and 10, that was actually 10, sorry. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and that Babel, which was then called Tower of Babel, which is Genesis 11, 1 to 9, is in the same area where the actual Babylon existed. So you have this first kingdom created by Nimrod, and somewhat description of that is in the chapter 11, when it describes the Tower of Babel. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And that's exactly the area where the Babylon farther than in the history existed. Then they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them truly." They had bricks for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower, whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the Son of Man had built. And the Lord said, "Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of the earth. So we have this situation where after the flood, Nimrod is descendant of Noah, and they decided to build an empire. An empire which will reach heavens, empire which will control the people. So you can see that spirit of that empire already there. You can see that spirit already there, working. And this is just the beginning. And then you have this what I call physical Babylon. And physical Babylon, you can find words about it in Isaiah 13:14, in Isaiah 47, in Jeremiah 50:51, and the book of Daniel, for the most part. That obviously it's in a lot of places, but these are the most prominent places. And I will read you from Isaiah 13, verses 19 and 20, what God will do with this physical Babylon. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldean pride, will be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It will never be inhabited, nor will it be settled from generation to generation, nor will the Arabian pitch tent there, nor will the shepherds make the sheepfolds there. So that's what God decided. So what will happen with this physical Babylon? And the reason for that was because there were multiple reasons, and the final straw is in the book of Daniel, which destroyed that kingdom. But the first reason was that because Jewish tribes were sent into slavery into Babylon, and as per God's view, they were mistreated there. So you can find it in Isaiah 47, 6 verse. I have profaned my inheritance and given them into your hand. You showed them no mercy. On the elderly you laid your yoke very heavily. And you said, I shall be a lady forever, so that you did not take these things to heart, nor remember the latter end of them. Therefore hear this now, you who are given to pleasures, who dwell securely, who say in your heart, I am, and there is no one else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, nor shall I know the loss of children. So you have the way they treated Israel, and then you have a pride, and then you have those things which I said before about Nimrod kingdom. So they were exalting themselves above who God is. And what is interesting about that spirit, if you read Isaiah 13 and then 14, and you read it in one, you open your Bible and you will see those two chapters basically on those 2 pages, the way I can see them. It goes from punishing physical Babylon, and in chapter 14 it ends with punishment of Lucifer. And and describes the fall of Lucifer, and it's a mixed. You can see that many verses in 13th and 14th chapter of Isaiah, they can describe both. It is saying about hell coming forth to greet the Babylonians, but at the same time it is greeting Lucifer. So it's kind of mixed, like, so you can understand that this spirit is either directly commanded by Lucifer, or it is a Lucifer himself who created that kingdom of Babylon. That either it is spirit which is directly commanded by Lucifer, because they have ranks, those fallen angels and demons, they have ranks, and they have their commanders, and the main commander is obviously Lucifer. But you can see how it is mixed, and and what else you will find, that then the same kingdom, the same Babylon, is described again in book of Revelation. And description there is from one side physical, so it is a physical destruction. So you see that in the past that Babylon was destroyed, but then it's destroyed again in the book of Revelation. And I won't be going down now to the Revelation. I will do this separately. But you can see that, so it was when the Nimrod was there, then was again with the Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar kings. Then you have it back because it's destroyed in Revelation, and then the spirit behind it is destroyed and punished. So there's a spirit behind it, and God is judging that spirit and his work being those kingdoms. So you had Nimrod kingdom, and you have this Babylon kingdom, and I would say we can safely assume there are other kingdoms or other human organizations which are led by the same spirit. So it's not like when Babel was destroyed, it stopped. No, it rose again as a Babylon. Then it was destroyed, but it rose again. And it will be destroyed again in the book of Revelation. But the one in the book of Revelation will be permanent one. But that's what I'm trying to say. It is an ongoing battle, an ongoing judgment. So the judgment comes, destroys whatever was being built at the time, and the judgment comes from slightly different reasons. Because first one, which was Nimrod, was because they were basically That's a spirit of rebellion against God. That's what that spirit is. It's a spirit of rebellion against God. And that's what was visible in the Nimrod. But then it was also visible in the Babylon, the one which I call physical Babylon, which was already destroyed, because they mistreated Jewish people. They took into the kingdom, as well as then the final straw I was talking about is that when they used those vessels from the temple of God to drink from them, and to praise their own small g gods with them. So that was like a final straw. So you can see that rebellion against God when they say, I'm the biggest, I'm the greatest king, and nothing bad will come to me. Basically, that's a pride beyond, like, basically it is saying, like, there's no God, I can do what I want. And the same spirit is present today in the world. It is present today. You can see that, like, you would have to be blind to not see that. And I will deal with that in the part 3, and I will talk about the book of Revelation, and we will talk also about and this book, it's not obviously the entire book of Revelation, it's mostly 17th, 18th chapter where God describes that, but it gives us a good understanding what that spirit does. I can give you a hint now for this. That spirit uses finances. So you had all the gold and silver and riches in the Babylon. So it's using finances, as well as is establishing a control over nations, people in general, because during Nimrod there were no nations were created afterwards. After that, Babel was being built, and God destroyed that. So he's using control and manipulation over people, and he's using finances to propel their plans and their agendas. And the main agenda they have is rebellion against God. Or they work as there is no God. They behave like there is no God. So all those judgments which came before, they didn't teach them anything, apparently. So that is my introduction to that. As you can see, Babylon is visible across the Bible, from the very beginning to the very end. And fact that certain things are not described in the Bible which are happening today doesn't make a difference, because Bible only shows us the main points, the main pivotal situations, but between them there's a lot of things happening which are exactly the same or similar. That's why that spirit is at work today, and it's building, and it's rebelling against God as we speak, and it's doing this so openly that it is impossible really to not notice that, unless we are blind or something. So the third part will be only on the Substack. So in the description of my channel, there's a link to Substack. This one will be on the Substack and on YouTube, but the next one will be only there because of the things we will be talking there. So God bless you guys. Stay strong.